who should be responsible for making a child's career decision. Now listen to these amazing kids.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's debate, and I am the moderator, Ms. Chijioke Onyinye. With the debate team of KROSA Secondary School, we are here to answer a very crucial question: who is to choose the career of a child, the parents or the children? With this, I'll call on those speakers that are in support of parents choosing careers for their children. The first speaker being Master Nduku David. A round of applause. The second speaker, Ms. Lillian Gozo. Then call on those speakers that do not agree that parents should choose careers for their children. The first speaker being Master Emmanuel Chigozie. And second speaker, Ms. Ebugotumodu. Having said that, I'll call on the first speaker from the proposing side to give us his points. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Ms. Moderator, panel of judges, our accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nduku David, and I am in JS 2. I'm the first speaker from the proposing side, and with me is Ms. Lillian Gozo. We are here to strongly propose the motion which says that parents should make career choices for their children.
I would like to start by quoting Deepak Chopra in the book titled The Book of Secrets, and it goes, if you obsess over whether you are making the right decision, you are basically assuming the universe will reward you for one thing and punish you for another. The universe has no fixed agenda. Once you make a decision, it works around that decision. There is no right or wrong, only a series of possibilities that shift with each thought, feeling, and action that you experience. My name is Ebugotumodu, and I will pose a motion which says parents should make career choices for their children.
Standing on the already existing protocol, my name is Lillian. I am here to strongly propose the motion which said that parents should make career choices for their children.
Captain Gabriel once said, and I quote, "You can live doing what you love or die having done nothing at all." But before I proceed, I would like to handle those two panelists, the moderator, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, and the audience. Standing before you is Emmanuel Chigozie, and with me here is the one we are here to strongly refute the motion that parents should make career choices for their children.
For the sake of this debate, I would like to define our key terms, which are parents, children, and career. A parent is the father or mother of someone. To be a parent means you have the responsibility to counsel your child, love your child, and protect your child. To counsel your child means to instruct him, including the area of making career choices. Who is a child? A child has been defined by Oxford Learner's Dictionary as the son or daughter of someone, an immature or irresponsible person with little or no experience in a particular area. A child has been defined as someone who cannot make a rational decision, a serious decision at his very tender age. A career is a profession undertaken primarily for the purpose of making money. Now I move on to my argument. The assumption that children should make career choices according to what they are passionate about is based on a flawed belief known as the passion hypothesis. The word passion hypothesis was coined by Professor Cal Newport, who is a Canadian psychologist. The underlying presumption of passion hypothesis says that children should be able to figure out what they are passionate about as they grow up, and when the time has come for them to make their career choice, that they will naturally gravitate into a career that matches their area of specialty. This is the basis on which people feel that parents should not make career choices for their children. But there is a great problem lurking in that argument. If we look deeper into what causes workplace happiness and general fulfillment in life, it will most definitely lead us to the unsettling recognition that allowing a child make his own career is in most cases a terrible blunder. Why is this a terrible blunder, you may ask? Well, let's delve into some science.
According to Cambridge Dictionary, a career is a job in which you are trained and in which it is possible for you to advance during your working life in order to get a greater responsibility and earn more money. Here it is trying to say that it is the child that has the practical work to do, not the parents. So parents should try and respect the wishes of their children. Because if they fail to do so, that child may also fail to put in the best, hence resulting in terrifying future. Selecting a career for a child is a very important aspect in a child's life. Parents want their children to become doctors, lawyers, engineers, and all those big-sounding professions simply because they want them to live a financially stable life. But one thing they fail to understand is that every individual has interest and passion, which if they are allowed to pursue those, they can make more fame. Okay, now let's consider the lives of Njideka Akunyili and Farah Anukulapukiti, for example. Njideka Akunyili is one of the 6 children of late Prof. Dara Akunyili, the Director General of National Agency for Food and Drug Administration Control, NAFDAC. She made history after she sold her Push Babies painting for a record-breaking of $3.4 billion, which is equivalent to 1.235 billion naira. Let me tell you her story. She was at first getting on pre-medical requirement to study medicine in school, which incidentally was what her parents wanted her to do, but she wanted to pursue art. She didn't do that until she got to Swarthmore College, United States, where she found out that she enjoyed her art classes more than her organic chemistry and advanced biology classes. She later attended Yale University, where she obtained her master's degree in fine arts. In 2016, she got the name Financial Times Woman of the Year, and in 2017, she won the MacArthur Fellowship Award. And so many others. What of Fela Anukulapukiti, a Nigerian musician who launched a modern style of music called Afrobeat, which fused with the American blues, jazz, and funk with Yoruba traditional music. He was the son of a feminist and a labor activist, Funmilayo Ransom Kuti, and a father who was an Anglican minister. He was sent to London to study medicine, but he decided to study music in the Trinity College of Music, using the trumpet as his preferred instrument. Okay, now tell me, if this individual had given in to what their parents wanted them to do, would the world hear about them? No is the answer. I believe everybody here has fundamental human rights, be it adult or child. So children should not be deprived of their rights simply because they are seen as minor who cannot make rational choices.
Psychologically, parents love their children and would not want anything to stress them. Parents choosing profession for their children is the best way to reduce academic pressure on their children. Parents are the natural guidance counselor of their children, knowing their strengths and weaknesses. To this effect, parents are in the best position to know the square hole and the square peg amongst their children. Parents don't just choose career for their children, but they will base their choice on the performance of the children already recorded during their primary and secondary education. No parent will want his child to be stressed up in any institution and become a school dropout. Hence, they choose amongst their children courses that will not stress them in the institution. Naturally, parents identify their children based on the circumstances of their birth. For example, Kansito, Chukwemeka, and Chiemeni. These names depict the fulfillment of the desires of parents. Under the same desire of parents, parents know the need of the family and will want their children to fit into the need of the family. They do this for continuity or for equitable balance of the family need. For example, a parent that is a professional, such as medical doctor, lawyer, etc., who have established in a profession with corporate offices and goodwill of the masses, who want their children to continue in that profession in order to enjoy the goodwill already established by them. Parents being the teller of their children are in the best position to choose career for their children. Parents being the closest person to their children are in the best position to know their capacity and as such tailor them towards that capacity. We should always remember that parents are much more experienced than their children. They have seen the world better and their decisions are always correct and better. This follows an Igbo adage that says, what an adult can see from the ground, even if a child climbs on top of a palm tree, he cannot see it. More so, experience is the best teacher. And no child will claim that he has more experience than the parents.
I will take you through a journey in such detail that will leave no doubt to your mind that my position is cast in stone. I would like to start by reminding us one of the core functions of being a parent is mentorship. The Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary defines a mentor as a trusted counselor or guide. Other sources expand on that definition, suggesting that a mentor or her heart. Their life becomes sweet when a parent is supposed to decide whether he or she is a mentor and overlord, driven by a selfish desire for success which they were unable to attain in their own lifetime. This creates a blind obsession for choice of career, which does not take into consideration the child's area of competence. Rather, they want to press themselves that their child is a doctor or an engineer to the detriment of their poor souls. Every parent's objective, I hope, is for their child to succeed in life. You can define success any way you like, but we must all agree with this. A successful child is a child who has achieved his or her full potentials, lives a long, happy and healthy life, and gives back in good measures to the society. If that be the case, it is absolutely not consistent with making career decisions for your children. Making an engineering decision for a potential fashion designer will probably lead to fashionable tools with no mechanical advantage. In the romantic case of our dear parents, it was fashionable to be a doctor, lawyer, or an engineer. Sending letters those days required a postage stamp which would take weeks to arrive to its destination. Life in all intents and purpose was slow. Today, with the advent of microprocessor and the internet, information dissemination happens in an instant. The world is moving in such a pace that you will definitely be left behind if you are not able to adapt. And there lies the challenges parents are facing. Career choices like programming or coding never existed in the past. Digital marketing wasn't even a thing, while robotics and space travel were probably fantasies. How then can, forgive my language, old school parents be allowed to have their God forbid.
Professor Robert M. Sapolsky, who is a professor of biology and neurology at Stanford University in the United States of America, stated in an article titled The Teenage Brain, the Quintessence of the 20 Teenage Years. He stated in that article that the human brain does not mature until after 25 years of age, a good 7 to 9 years after a child has been expected to make his career choice. He said that the prefrontal cortex of a human being does not mature until after 25 years of age, and the prefrontal cortex is associated with planning, decision making, self-control, and working with long-term goals in mind. Since the prefrontal cortex of a child is not yet mature, he or she will make an irrational decision when the time has come for him to make a career choice. Hence, they should leave it to their rational and responsible parents to make those career choices for them. Furthermore, the prospect of passion hypothesis does not consider making a living, which is the core purpose of a career. If children are allowed to make their career choices according to what they are passionate about, they will not be able to venture into the money-making aspect of the careers they wish to delve into. Parents, on the other hand, clearly know which careers are more likely to allow their children live in favorable conditions. And the fact is that many careers around the world, especially here in Nigeria, make it difficult for a person to live a comfortable life. But most children do not know this. Children grow up feeling that all they have to do is venture into the career of their choice, regardless of how mediocre those passions may be. And somehow it will lead them to general fulfillment in life.
Most successful people, if you look around our immediate environment, you will see evidence of failed parental career decisions. Doctors finding that their potential is music. Have you heard of Dr. Sid? Engineers switching their career to banking. Economists finding their footing in acting. It doesn't end.
My opponents may say that children should be allowed to have their own experience in order to make better decisions. But I want to correct this notion by saying that experience is the best teacher, means that we learn from people's experiences. For example, you don't stand at the center of the road and wait till the car hits you before you know that accident kills. You don't take poisonous substance in order to have experience before you know that it harms your health. So children should learn from their parents' experiences in order not to make the same mistake that has already been made by so many people in the world and live the rest of their life crying, had I known.
I and my colleague here believe that every child here knows what is good and what is bad. Parents are just there to guide them and not make the choice themselves. They should teach them how to be independent, such as when it comes to selecting a career for themselves. Yes, they should avoid infringing on the fundamental human rights of their children because infringement of fundamental human rights is against the law. Career can either mode of destroy one's life. That is why it is very, very essential you allow your child to make his or her own career herself because it is an individual journey through learning, work, and other aspects of life.
Parents are aware of something known as market demand, and they know that careers is for the sole purpose of making a living. This is why they tend to lead their children to jobs that have high specialization, high demand, and high pay. They know that the 8 hours in a day dedicated for working is for the sole purpose of making money and not for passionate activity. This is why they try to lead their children to lucrative and prestigious jobs rather than jobs that ultimately lead them to live in poverty. Before I conclude, I would like to restate the point I made so that all of you will understand it clearly. First, I stated the error in Amawbia's partial hypothesis and how it is a terrible blunder when added to making career choices. I stated that the prefrontal cortex and the human brain of a human being does not mature until after 25 years of age, and how the prefrontal cortex is associated with planning, decision making, problem solving, and working with long-term goals in mind. I stated that the partial hypothesis does not consider the prospect of making a living, which is the sole purpose of a career. And finally, I stated that children do not know that the 8 hours in a day dedicated to work is for the sole purpose of making money, and how parents know what market demand is. With this viewpoint of mine, I know in my heart that I have convinced you that making career choices is only for the parents to do and not for the children. Thank you.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. What if you select a career that will affect your child's future tomorrow? He will end up regretting it. You only make input and not the decision. Gabriel said it in his poem, The Prophets, that can only house their body, but not their soul, because their soul dwells in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot even visit, not even in your dream. Here it is trying to say that the future of the world depends on the next generation, not parents. No matter how simple or prestigious the work is, as long as it's not in line with what that child wants, it's wrong. No matter how stable it is, it does not involve happy job. No matter how prestigious it is, it does not involve happy job. What involves happy job is what your child wants and would like to pursue. That involves happy and long, enjoyable career. I leave my colleague to show more light. Once again, I'm a child.
Another common example. A child who has never been to a mall will depend on information from anyone he sees in the mall to get his targeted article of interest. Sometimes he may get the wrong information, and when he works with the wrong information, he will no longer get the targeted article of interest. But when he's directed from home by the parents on where exactly at the mall the goods are sold, he will get it without much stress. No other person can direct the child in this circumstance than the parent. And that is why I support and I believe the idea that parents should make career choices for their children. A case of Wendy Okolo is a typical example, who is the first black woman to obtain PhD in aerospace engineering. Her dad chose the engineering profession for her, and she's doing great there. Kudos to her parents. With these few points of mine, I hope I have convinced you that parents should make career for their children. Thank you.
Now, imagine if rather than making career decisions for your children, parents mentored and guided their children to make these decisions. How much more successful would they be? Most successful people we know today are successful because they weren't discovered to pursue their passion. Imagine if your son was Ronaldo, rather than supporting him, you forced him to study medicine. And to my opponent, Master David, I know you like playing football, and I know you like it. With this point enumerated, I hope I've been able without a iota of doubt to
my teammates and I have made. First, we mentioned children are not mature. We have been trying to tell you this throughout the entire course of our debate. Children are irrational, reckless, irresponsible. They are not rational. They are not old enough to make those serious decisions. They still need to be trained a little more. 7 to 9 years is a long gap. Either they wait until they are 25 to make their career choices or allow their parents to make it for them. My opponent said something about interest, but I'd like to tell them that when you're interested in the wrong thing, it will lead you to, as well, a terrifying future. When one is interested in being something he or she is not meant to be, he or she will fail terribly, and I mean it terribly. Children live in fantasies. They believe that they wake up any morning. They believe that if they wake up any morning, this one is good, this one is good. Let me follow it. That's not life. I repeat, that's not life. They don't know life. All they know is that fantasy. That if they just choose any career choice, it will lead them to general fulfillment in life. My opponents may say about experience that children should learn from their own experience, but a parent's job is to make sure they don't have a bad experience, which is in most cases the outcome after a child has been allowed to make his own career choice. He mentioned Fela Anikulabi-Kuti. Well, I want to mention Mark Zuckerberg. He is the CEO of Facebook and Instagram. His father led him to build that career, to study that computer engineering. And now he has a net worth of $126.8 billion US. Kudos to his father. Children are not experienced. They do not know the world around them. They do not know the different choices they wish to delve into. They do not know anything about the world. I mean, parents, they are trying to tell you that you are not used, that you're not important when it comes for them to make their career choices. That's what they are trying to tell you. And I hope you don't believe that. With this viewpoint of mine, my opponent and I, we hope to have fully convinced you that whatever they say is not true and that we are the correct party and that parents should be the one to make their career choices.
He made mention of interest in choosing a career for a child, but I want to tell you, like Mark Zuckerberg, he mentioned, if there is no interest in that technology, like he wanted to study medicine, I bet you will make more thing in medicine, more than that technology is into now. Assuming your dad walks up to you and says, my son, you're no longer going to continue your education, you're going to start studying water. I doubt you won't pay into that. So allow your child to make his or her own career himself to avoid the damage of the future. Because the future depends on the generation, not of the parents. We've lived our life. You've lived your life. So let's live our own life. And you also make mention of maturity selecting a career for a child. But my colleague and I refuse to that, because in developmental psychology, maturity is seen as a build-up of experiences by an individual. Oh, you are trying to convince me that children should learn from their parents' experience. She made mention of learning from the experiences. It's very, very wrong. Let's get our own experience so that we can be able to get our own stories to tell. Shouldn't children learn towards their own maturity? I bet in selecting a career for a child should be dependent on this question by that child. Who am I? What am I good at? What comes naturally to me? What can I do naturally and not what my parents want? Please allow your child to make it for her own kind of thought.
We've come to the end of today's debate. Hope you liked it. I'll leave the panel of adjudicators to round up the results. Thank you and God bless.